Okay, this is my 2009 Kawasaki 750 Teryx with fuel injection. And like many other Kawasaki 750 fuel injecteds, this girl, when it warms up, starts backfiring, popping, no power. I have worked on this, and I have bought not one, but I have bought two of them. And even though it seemed to solve the problem for a little bit, it came right back. I've read and read. I've had this gauge on it. I plugged the gauge in right here. This fitting on here, this is a Harbor Freight fuel injector tester, and it goes up to 100 psi. This end here fits right inside this hose, and I'm holding 41 pounds of pressure until it gets hot, and then it starts dropping. If you can see, it'll start dropping down to about 30 to 28 psi, and then it won't run. They say filter problems. I've replaced the filter numerous times. I've replaced these filters to no avail. Fuel pump to no avail. The last time that I've worked on this, I blew out all the internals inside this pump, and it worked great for about 5-6 minutes, and then she started right back again. To charge $600 to replace this ridiculous little pump on this machine, which I refuse. In no way, no how will I do that. And some of the fixes that I've seen on the internet, I'm going to try the last one here, which is take the filter screen supposedly out of the center portion. Okay, here's the hookup I have to test the fuel pressure. I've got a hose over top of where this hose went, and I've got a Harbor Freight gauge on here. Now I got to hold this, and I'm going to start it up. You can see I'm getting the fuel pressure that I need. Okay, I'm sure you've seen this take out of a fuel pump on a Kawasaki 750 100 times. You first have to spread this little horseshoe so that this will pull off of here, and that's right there, which I now have a hose on. And of course, then you disconnect this electrical connection by squeezing this and lifting up, and then you take this ring off. These are 8mm head bolts, and then this thing lifts right up out. Let me get it here. A little careful getting the... There, we got that out. Now you'll see that I don't have the bottom on this because of this new filter system, but from what they tell me, the culprit or the problem with these pumps lies in this section right here. And so that's what we're going to take apart. Okay, here is the fuel pump, and this is the top part. This is, this right here is the center part, and there's your pressure release valve right there, and your pump goes right on the bottom. And it's inside, let me set the top part down. It's inside this section that they claim that there's a spring that reduces the flow enough, but I don't understand why it would do it when it gets warm. But this pressure relief valve was working. It's the only mechanical part in this that would drop the pressure down if this wasn't functioning, but there's just a spring in the valve in there unless there's dirt caught up underneath that. But we're going to try to go in here and see if we can find this spring, or excuse me, find this filter that they keep talking about, and it's supposed to be right inside this. Actually, I don't know, somewhere in there. This is where the pumps up through, and it comes up, goes around, comes out into the pressure release valve, and then out to the motor on the top end. So what I did was, let's see if I can get this for a recommendation, was bent a nail, put it up inside here, turned it, and I could feel, it felt like there was a screen and I was popping it through. Now, and then I blew everything out. I used carb cleaner, and filled it up and blew everything out of there to make sure everything was clean. But if that screen, again, I don't understand why it would have to warm up for it to start acting up. But if that screen is indeed the problem, it could be a pressure drop problem going through here, the pumping the gas through here, and actually building up maybe too much amperage for the motor, and the motor loses. I don't know. The motor would be that borderline, or the pump rather, I should say. This thing here is maybe so borderline that it can't overcome that pressure, even though it develops 40 psi. But we're going to give this a try. But this is what we did. We took this center section out, put a nail up in there. That's what one of the guys said on the internet, and it worked. And another guy said, "Thank you, you solved my problems," and it worked. We're going to find out. We've got her fixed. Here we go. Well, there she is. That's after the fix. Runs perfect.